Welcome to Some Stories of Mine. In this video, I would like to look back at some of the things we have seen and places we have been to in 2023. If you enjoy traveling around this beautiful country and learning about things and people, click the subscribe button and join our little community. You can also like this video if you feel so inclined to. All these videos I'll mention are still available for you to watch on this channel. Now, let's go back to February when we visited Ozone Falls and learned of not only some of the awesome things that happened there, but also some of the sad things, like the serial killer that ended the lives of some really good people, and the many fatal accidents that happened there, which stands as a warning to be careful when trying to navigate these dangerous waters. Also in February, we traveled to Fall Creek Falls. We have visited this place a lot, but I can't get enough of these spectacular waterfalls, and I'm reminded of some of the sad stories that happened there, some of which were totally avoidable. Then we decided to head over to Bush Beans Museum in March because somebody who shall not be named loves his beans. So CB insisted that we go there. Sorry, CB. Well, while we were there, we were most impressed. We learned a lot about Bush's history from this information-filled museum. We also got some cool souvenirs and spoke with some very interesting people. In an interview with Duke, the talking dog, I was told the secret of Bush's beans recipe straight from the dog's mouth. But something happened with that. Hop on over and see for yourself. But it was a very informative video. Check it out. Living around Knoxville, Tennessee, I was surprised to learn that we had one of the first black colleges in the country. We went in March to take a look around. The campus wasn't open, but they still offered online classes. During our research, we learned some very interesting things about that college, some inspirational and some very sad. Also, close to that college was downtown Knoxville, and we drove a short distance to take in the Augusta Quarry, which surprised me. I had passed this place for years and did not know that it existed. Some really sad but avoidable incidents happened there. Feel free to check that out. We then took some time off to visit an RV show in Georgia, which is one of our favorite pastimes. We can dream, can't we? This one was my favorite, and I have it on my vision board. I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. Then we went over to see Providence Canyon, which was a few hours away, and by the time we got there it was closed, but we got some cool drone footage. Providence Canyon is also known as the Grand Canyon of Georgia. I thought it was beautiful. Charleston, South Carolina, where we went in April, was full of history, and although we couldn't get it all in one video, we learned a lot about Caw and the Chapel of Ease, Paris Island, the military base, and the old jail. There we learned things about some of the bravest people to have ever lived, but it also had some really sad stories. And then we stood in awe, waiting for the sun to set and the light of the Arthur Ravenel Jr. Bridge to come on. This was one of the prettiest bridges I have ever seen. And we had a lot of company. There were so many people there watching it with us and taking pictures too. Tennessee Pearl Farm was also a treat, and I got a keeper, a beautiful black pearl.
What's that? It's the pearl.
Black pearl? I've heard stories. She's been preying on ships and settlements for near 10 years. Never leaves any survivors.
not that one, this one. There we heard and read about the founder's story and his determination to have this freshwater pearl farm here in Tennessee. Then it was time to fly out, and I went to Jamaica in May. I got the opportunity to visit Rose Hall, where it is said that it was the home of Jamaica's female serial killer, Annie Palmer. We also visited the home of Jamaica's first millionaire, and then went to see another side of Jamaica, a part that is not shown to tourists, Old Arbor Bay. We had some good food, enjoyed the company of friends and family, and had lots of fun. Back home, we heard about some of the strange occurrences in Kentucky, the missing people, and something in the Ohio River that was so powerful that it was pulling ships under. So in May, we scouted some of these areas and then went to Maysville, where the sunken ships were, and we found more than we bargained for. While walking around, I captured something supernatural, and it was only after my viewers came up with a plausible explanation that I actually accepted it. We found that we are not alone on this planet because we captured a different being on video. Watch. If you didn't know that evil exists, our trip to Bartow County in June will prove that. The evils of men. Boys and girls, I tell you, that one was hard for me, and so was the story of Beulah Tan in Memphis. She murdered hundreds of children for financial gain. I couldn't even believe this until I did extensive research. All of this I brought to you in that video. Reelfoot Lake was so beautiful, but we found that some awful things happened there. We found some really sad stories, but I must say the natural occurrence of that lake after the earthquake was a shocker for me. Alabama in July, too, had some really terrifying stories, from hikers falling to suicide, and a serial killer couple who performed terrible acts against a child. That was too much for me, but I'm glad they're behind bars, and one of them was killed in jail. Also, Linville Falls in August showed me that there are some evil men out there. I was happy to know that most of these people are behind bars again, and although they may run, they don't get far. I had to divide the story of the Blue Ridge Parkway into 2 episodes because so many things happened there. The murders, thefts, and suicide just amazed me. This one we did in August to September. Then in September, we had to take a break from all the mayhem and chill out in Florida. There was not too much content because we were there to relax, but I couldn't help but share some of what we found fascinating. The rodeo came to town in October, and we had to bring you along to experience another amazing culture that we have here. Boy, did I have a good time. Watching all these young and old riders do tricks was so much fun. The music, clown, and the DJ made it even more entertaining. You should check out a rodeo sometime. It is so much fun. Our video in New Orleans, also in October, was another one that I am proud of. There was so much history in New Orleans. And even though the video was over 22 minutes long, we didn't even cover a third of what happens there. I can guarantee you that we will do another episode from there. That city was as vibrant as New York and Nashville, in my opinion. So full of life. Heading back home, we traveled on the Trail of Tears. The stories I unearthed broke my heart, and it was so hard to get this one out without sharing how angry all of this made me. But through all that hardship, it showed how resilient people can be. In September, we went to the U.S. Space and Rocket Center in Alabama. If you haven't been there, this place is a must. We learned a lot about the history of humans and animals going to space, saw some of the tools and space suits, and learned about how they prepared meals and what they ate. So much information. We were almost overwhelmed by the enormousness of the rockets and spaceships and met some really interesting people. Yeah, this one is a must for you because we only brought a fraction of it to you in that video, or that video would have been 4 hours long. Doing these stories takes a toll on one's mental health, and in October we had to head out again to take a break from it all, but ended up with more stress than we could handle. Our beloved shuttle bus, Snow, tried to take us home after taking us to the beautiful Edisto Beach campground in South Carolina. But something inside her was not allowing her to. She tried but could only take us to the side of a busy highway. Looking back, I think all of it was for a reason, because that supreme being watching over me needed me to regain faith in the human race. Enter two gentlemen, D in South Carolina and Matt in Georgia. They and CB worked tirelessly and selflessly to fix Snow after learning how far away from home we were, going above and beyond to help us, finally getting Snow in tip-top shape to get us home. They renewed both of our faith in people, and I'm still in awe that people like them still exist. We would not have made it back without their help. But then we had to visit the Central State Mental Hospital in November, and again be reminded of how evil people can be to each other. But there is something else happening at that old hospital even today. I can't get over why. If this place is completely abandoned, why are all the lights still left on? And why is there such a strict security surrounding this building? The moment you set foot on the property, there is a security car screaming down the road to ask you to leave. As Jamaicans would say, something is in something. We were now in December and I was working on my book, The Boy. I'm so proud of this book and decided to share it with you, so I did it all the way up to Christmas. I have now moved it over for members only and I'm continuing to read the chapters there. My member, because there's only one, just told me she loves the story. This is such a validation for me and I will continue to share it there. The next location we visited was in January of this year, 2024, but I will list it still. We decided to visit one of the most spectacular bridges in West Virginia, the New River Gorge Bridge and its surroundings, and we learned there were some heartbreaking stories, but I'm happy that visitors are still flocking there to take in the marvel of the bridge and the beauty of the national park, filled with so much to see and learn about. While there, we drove by the house where, to this day, no one knows what happened to the 5 Sutter children. We got the story and shared it with you. Also, in West Virginia, we visited the Thurmond ghost town. And boy, what a treat it was to learn about some of the happenings there, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Overall, last year was full of some great locations and stories. The knowledge and experience we gain from being out there is priceless, and we already have plans to do it all again. We already have a list of places we want to see, and some of which will blow your minds. So make sure you don't miss out. Click that subscribe button and select all in the drop-down menu. Remember to like and share this channel with others who you think will also like it. And be sure to love yourself and others. Take care for now, and I will catch you on the next one.